advantage. He gets the pick down. He has the speed to catch up with the zone.
And almost had a taste of in-game there of just letting the Storm kind of push your opponent forward, and you're just literally sitting there with your gun out, waiting for them to pickaxe through or edit through or crash through, and Nate taking advantage right there. But now Nate is getting in a very precarious situation, has to work his way out of the aftermath and get his way forward to move, push forward. He's so close to the, it's not a very long rotation, as you see all our competitors making the rotation towards the safe zone. Right now, Mr. Savage following some of his iResume. Oh my, no! Oh no! The sniper has been unvaulted and takes out Mr. Savage in a blink of an eye.
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That shot being just fired across the map. I don't even know by who. Sends Savage straight back to the lobby, and Dreda will have to basically catch up to his ghost on the same type of rotation. He was so far ahead of everyone else as well. This man was riding the biggest tidal wave in position, in pressure, and now it comes crashing down. Raxo also putting down pressure, but almost even taking fall damage. It's chaos, and it's just the third zone. No one can make it in. Janus taking out Jaku, Raxo going down. Everyone just makes boxes beside each other. There's like 9 different people here who are struggling, rotating with the zone.
Who would have known the northeast side of this map would have so much traffic coming down this rotation here? And now you're seeing the box fights ring out here. Nas trying to defend 2 different fronts. Mappy, who's already taken out the deal here just next door. You're hearing the chug cannon. This is just the early game chaos that's happening right here in the All-Star Showdown solo event.
We'll have insurance. Insurance activated now as Chulex goes down to eye drop. Launch pads are a big thing added this season, and just changing the way end games are played and rotations happen past that third zone. Some people might look to actually end up using this magical device to actually get ahead and get inside that fourth zone and then look to recycle. Some of these positions seem impossible to rotate from. You can just see right in front of Vanas right there. There's a huge uphill incline. That's where you're gonna get headshot. That's where you're gonna have to use upwards of 2,000 builds, and as a solo player, you don't have that option. You don't have that many mats to be able to use. So, I mean, Stompy, everyone here in this little apartment complex are gonna have trouble really getting control of this next zone.
You're seeing Wakey getting an Elim as well. Seti still in this fight. Stompy Right still in this fight. We just had this horn go off, and now the zone's about to close. Seti picking up Virox. Seti, one of those other people that does really decently well in solos. You know, you could talk about Seti, Cammy, and Teak, and you don't really think about Seti so much when it comes to solos, but still, someone who could win it all. Red Rush takes out Knifer.
Stompy and a bunch of other people in trouble, though. We have to wait for 9 people to go down for this next surge threshold. Pay attention to the number above that mini-map. Basically, if they're underneath, if that number literally falls under that graphic, these guys are in trouble. They need to do damage, or they'll get dealt damage too by the server, by the map. It's to make sure everyone's active inside while they're playing and making sure, you know, everyone in the server is staying very, very aggressive.
I just saw underneath the reason it is Vortex. Vortex has been the grim dealer of eliminations here, going after anybody that's near him. So Reason has to be careful. Janus picked up a limb. Let's take a look at the replay here. Janus, who's been working very steadily, picking up Nebs there, catches him with a ramp made out of soft mats, gets an easy elim with the beams.
And that's just an example of the pro radar, knowing exactly what's happening around you in a 3x3 box, knowing who's where, what pressure they're taking, where the shield pop's coming around. He knows exactly where Nebs was, shot through 2 different builds and gets that elimination. So huge there from Janus, and we'll see exactly what will happen straight up next. Silence around the map right now as people are getting ready for this next rotation. 30 seconds to basically allocate what your next move is going to be. Chapix, a dangerous game here, my man, but the loadout, that also looks very, very scary. He has the best tools and loot, basically, to attack this end game, and has a gas can inside there as well that could really set the server ablaze. Look at Reason, though. A 2-piece from where he was sitting, Sancho, and he took out Vortex, too.
Yeah, Vortex has been the one that's been really aggressive, taking on the big names, but it just could not handle Reason right there. Nate shoots on through, and look at the loot. You talked about the loot on the other side, but Reason has some really great in-game loot. He has the pepper, he has the chug cannon, so he's gonna have the movement and he has the builds. My only concern for Chapman's side of things, Shayo, is that he did not have a lot of builds, and I think he's looking for a refresher.
No, absolutely. And even though Reason has tons of loot, he's not going to be in the best spot looking for the refresh. Sancho, you're right. He was going for it. Michael ends up taking him out. If you can't really build in the end game, are you allowed to play? Server says no, and he's gone. Now we look at, oh my God, a beautiful sight top down. Look at all the names ready to attack this end game. Everyone inside zone waiting to see what they can do next. Janus will be your pilot for this trip. He has the highest point of elevation right now, and he's actually getting challenged here by Pizza, who just like in trios, overtakes, looks for the half and half, gets aggressive, but it's all on him now. No teammates, no dynamic height retakes. It's just going to be up to him to stay above Janus and stay above EU.
Janus is using his AR to get most of these elims, so it's keeping him clean. He hasn't really had too many engagements box to box. It's all from distance, and sometimes in a solo event, being able to sneak away to take those eliminations are going to be a huge. Right now, we're got to get close to another placement point threshold here. Once they cross into the top 40, another point will get doled out. It's the top 10 they're going to be looking at, because so much placement points will be doled out, and of course, with every elim worth 2, it's going to be a big bonus. At the same time, Andalex, newly signed to Falcon here, is a name that we've been hoping for to make a resurgence back to glory here. Andalex, who had a bad run in the FNCS, went all the way from the back of the pack, moved all the way to 7th with his trios. One of those names, Andalex, is looking forward to have a great day today.
Endgame starting up though. Gliders up in the sky. Andalex is a very forward front position, but once again, 50 different lines of sight. Now down to 40. Elocrats going down to zone. Andalex has to be careful. King Michael on his right side. This man is lethal with the bump. Andalex sneaking in, almost has the shot, but the wall blocks him. Going right in, diving, no cause for respect. This man doesn't care. Andalex gets a huge upgrade. Oh, another invasion from a different nation. He just turns on that man, and oh my God, a second one to just defuse right there. Andalex gets to survive. But then is taken out. Each box is being observed, is being analyzed by 5 different players. If you trip up for even a second, you're going to be taken out.
Thomas HC looking for those trip bugs. Does he pick up High Chris? I believe that was Toos that was able to close that out. You know, he did pick up High Chris there. He was able to take that away, and he picks up Swag as well. Some nice illuminations from Thomas HD. Now he's just going to need some mats here because he's only down to 15 metal. He has mats on the other side of the wall. He has attack, and the attack is real. A 2-piece from Thomas HD. Let's go.
Clear resolutions in his mind, but up top it's Vino. Play-in Mastermind looking to see exactly what he can do up. Hot fish in tow as well. He lands down once again. What good control he has over the top of the server. Thomas HD now, he's actually losing a little bit of control. On the backside getting focused, metal builds, but now he's down to none. We'll see exactly what he can do as he walks in. The server now thinning out. Vino getting another. Malibuca goes down. Shizo is getting Reason inside the feed. Top 7 situation. Ooh. Thomas HD is the lucky number who gets down at the very end, and Mr. J is the one to take him out. Vino running on mats as well. He has 4 to his name to decide what to do next. He might have to hide out down below though. And done. Fastroki, they're battling it out. It's a 5-man game.
It's all of a sudden we hit in-game and we blinked in an eye. It's almost over here. It's a top 4 situation. Fastroki coming in from the play-in track here with 4 eliminations. Still a name in the EU region looking for some respect here. Down to only 3 builds. It's the Chug Cannon that's going to give him the ability to go a little bit survive. And yes, he finds some very valuable builds. Even 7 is just enough. He's looking for more loot out there. He sees someone out front and done there on the backside of the storm, getting pressured here. Fastroki gets tagged just a bit. But Shizo now is at height. What happened to Vino? What happened to Vino?
Vino might have got taken out. Fastroki's looking for the match to actually get. These guys are not even fighting for position. They're fighting for a player and enemy Graves. They finally get a few more mats, actually all out. Mr. J goes down in Storm. It's 1v1, and Fastroki has nothing in the build department to defend himself. Shizo has a few more, goes for the shot, misses it, but the AR is there to back up, and he takes away the first game of All-Star Solo Showdown.
6 eliminations and the victory royale. Let's take a look at that final moment. Was able to snatch away the high ground for Vino, and it was all textbook from then on out. Just send down the builds, send down the beams, and just so many nice tags on Fastroki. But what an unbelievable start here to the All-Star Showdown Solo. We have more highlights to look over, and Vortex was definitely a highlight of this match.
No, honestly, Sancho, I don't even know what's going on. People have height. people are, you know, just popping off left and right, but at the same time, they're not holding on to the very end and winning the game. The stuff we're used to seeing, the consistency, it's not here. You expect Savage to have a great rotation, he gets sniped. You expect, you know, Noah Riley to be able to dive into boxes, he gets beat. Reason as well goes down earlier in the feed. When I said expect the unexpected, that is 100% the theme for today.
We are going to need the analyst desk to break this all down. Let's kick it to Reese, Levin, and our host, Zeke.
Guys, thank you so much. This first game, whoa! Literally all the high-profile players we thought were like, oh yeah, we'll see them. Top 10, no problem. Boom, headshot sniped. Boom, picked up on rotations. What is going on, Levin?
Look, there's so much going on, and I think that's what you get with solos. You know, we can sit here and, you know, give you all the analysis and show you the genuine favorites with genuine reason, but at the same time, you will have this where you just have switch-ups, where you have top players who will come out of nowhere, and we saw that all throughout the game. All throughout the game, we saw these big players going down. You know, to start off the game, you know, pretty interesting stuff about Believers Beach, Reese. This crazy fight between O'Reilly and Fuzio. We wanted to know how those guys would interact at Believers Beach, and both of them came out of it well, but at the same time didn't necessarily have the best of games.
Yeah, they didn't, you know, that fight they disengaged and then met later on, but we just saw Vortex popping off in the feed as well. He was one of the people that actually came through the play-ins and was performing so well, just eliminating everyone fight after fight after fight after fight, which was huge to watch. But Queasy was a player that I think we were both looking for to do really well, and going down so early in game one is definitely a tough one for him.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting to see now moving forward. You can see Mrs. Savage being headshot sniped here. Absolutely unfortunate. Reason's a player who we didn't get to speak much about, but definitely someone to keep your eyes on. There is just so much chaos, Reese, and I think the players who will thrive are the players who can survive in this chaos. And it's weird because you see these players who have crazy levels of skill, the Atomic HDs of the world. That's the difference sometimes in solos in these end games. Can you just pop off? Can you hit back-to-back tack shots, back-to-back pump shots to be in the right position in those later stages of the game? And, you know, of course, Thomas HD is one of the players who can do it. Shizo as well, showing he can do it, winning out the game as well. Look, I'm just rattled, Reese. I am absolutely rattled. I don't even know what to expect moving forward now. Shizo's sitting in first place after that victory hour with 6 eliminations. For Strokey in second, Mr. J, Lucky in third. I want to believe that they can continue on this. Maybe this is first game jitters for some players. I don't want to overreact, but at the same time, I'm like, what is happening? Like, is this going to be like this every game?
You know, I think when we're looking at this top 10 here, most of these names we were not predicting from the start. Again, it's game one. We all know we don't want to look too much into the leaderboards too much, but same as, you know, Shizo, for Strokey, and Mr. J, all of those come out of game one. I don't think any of us predicted to be a top 3 to start with. I am going to give my shout out to my boy Andon for being 7th there. He came 4th in that game with a single elimination. A player I've been hyping up a ton last season, and in trios in particular, as a new up-and-coming solo player. Won so many cash cups, so many other tournaments as well, already putting it into place in the first game of this. But again, looking over to the next page, 11th down till 20th, these are the players who started to put it together but really weren't necessarily to get their foot off the ground. You know, we saw Reason with 2 eliminations in that game in basically a spectacular fashion, as always. Low ground in that 5th zone, but fumbling a bit after that.
Of course, right? You know, you can expect these things. I think the big thing, right, is like you said, you know, the players in that top 10 aren't necessarily the players who we were hard predicting, but yet you can make solid cases for every single one of them as to why they are a top solo player or why they should be respected in that manner. And look, moving forward, some of the off-spawn engagements, we saw a bunch of top players going down early off spawn, losing fights you may not have thought they would. Like the first fight of the game, Mappy versus Vidil. Who would you expect to win that one? If you're sitting at home right now, who do you think is going to win between Mappy and Vidil? You think Vidil, right? He didn't. Went down 99th place or 100th place, whatever. This is getting crazy. I can't wait to see what happens now in this next game in terms of off-spawn and even towards the later stages of the game. It's going to be crazy.
Bro, it's insane. And this was just game 1. We have 5 more ahead of us. We're going right back aboard the battle bus. So Sancho West ShireWager, back over to you guys.
I wanted to stay on the desk, Sancho. I'm not ready for this. Like, after that first game, I'm coming in with, like, you know, okay, I'm going to analyze this. I got expectations set for that. But I threw them all out the window while these guys were on camera. Like, what do we do?
I mean, we were just talking about it in the break, everybody. I was like, man, the end game just in the blink of an eye. We were just talking about we're entering our first moving zone here, and all of a sudden, everyone just got eliminated. And Shizo, an unexpected name, was able to walk away with the victory royale. But it just shows you this is the All-Star Showdown solos. There are so many people who made it to the finals in previous seasons with trios, and as well, I'm quite surprised that those top 10 play-in players are actually making some noise here today.
Yeah, we're used to like kind of, I'll put this in an analogy, a little bit of a striped pattern usually of, these very high tier players struggling towards the very end. Right?
Yeah.
The end game is what tricks them out. Some of those zones, it feels like we switched from stripes to maybe zigzags and polka dots right now, because early game is where they're actually the ones that are having the most trouble, right? Those smaller, earlier fights, they're going down the third and fourth zone rotation. It's not even Surge that's taking them out. It's other people in their boxes, Sancho.
You talked about patterns. Well, I mean, the 90s fashion is making way back, and all those patterns are always clashing, man. You got stripes here, polka dot here, zebra print, all in the same shirt. You rocking the vibe, I'm rocking the vibe, but everybody here, the vibe is real. It's match 2, and if anything could be like indication what match 2 can be, it could be anything. It could be anything. So many people going down to the big names. We had Noah Riley, Savage, Teak all go down in the early game, but here we go, Shayo. Match 2. The bus is going north to south, almost even split, and look at that looming shadow of their mothership. And man, it's going to be an end of times for some of the big names, but maybe a new name could make a big surprise and show out and stand tall at the end of the day.
And our focus is usually those final zones, but right now, if you're following the top players, pay attention right now to loadouts, how fast these guys are moving, who's around them in POIs. Right now, no one's even gone down to the feed just yet, so definitely people playing it safe all around. I'm very, very curious in seeing exactly how these guys switch up their games in the first and second zone. All these people who are so aggressive and playing in box fights, why is it that they're not actually claiming names, taking elims away in 30 seconds like they usually do? Why is Believer Beach so slow compared to before, where the fights break out fast and the box fights are committed to, right? What are the changes we're going to see this game, Sancho?
That's what we all have our eyes on. Now we may have a repeat battle between ForZR and Noah Riley, but now ForZR is in a big world of hurt here. Took some big beams, and it gets eliminated quickly. That is the speed that we're used to Noah Riley. Maybe it was just a couple of first game jitters, but we all know that statistically he's one of the fastest working players, and now we just show that. And Vidil returns the receipt to Mappy, so it's a 1-to-1 on that fight as well.
I see what it was. These guys were just loading in the skill, and it took an extra little bit of a game to get these guys really, really rolling. So this might be the clap back we were waiting for. This needed an extra time a little bit in that hyperbolic time chamber. Flecken taking out Diablo. Man, it is actually brother versus brother all the way over at the Shark. I was very curious as to how that would break down. Usually you see teammates being a little bit passive on these POIs, but no holds barred on EU. They don't care who's dropping beside them. After that first game, Sancho, these guys know what they need to do, and that's just stick to their game, be confident, and take anyone out.
Sometimes, red's a great color, but green is a little bit better. You know what I mean? And when you're talking about the prize of $150,000 on the line for first place, hey, sometimes you got to take out your old teammate. Sometimes you got to take out your friend coordinate, whatever you call it, the friend culture these days. But my eye is right now on those big names that went down early. We'll definitely keep an eye on the feed to see where it all goes down. But wow, so far, I'm just so surprised to see the dangers of solos, Walking around, you think you have a free rotation, boom, sniper comes out of nowhere, headshot. I'm still looking for, who was the person that took out Mr. Savage. I'm like, yo, who took him out? Because that was a really nice shot.
It was faster than usual. I'm not surprised. The stuff that goes down in solo. That sniper, I was expecting it somewhere, but for it to happen on Savage was the most surprising part. I'm still looking out. And more flabbergasted of the fact that there's 4, almost 5 people making it off spawn from Believer Beach. Every single game is going to be looking like now. And then past that, every other POI as well. I mean, it's going to be split pretty evenly. I would expect a little bit more friction.
One of the things I was surprised in is it feels like every FNCS, every set lobby, there's always a traffic zone, a high contested, maybe someone out there in the highway closed down a lane, right? And so far, coming from the northeast down to the south, there were so many solo players on that. We had like 10 to 12 coming down that rotation, and that's what happened to Savage. He was making his way down that rotation. He was in front of that lead, that pack, and then he gets sniped. So we got to keep an eye on that. I remember so many ones of all down south, down there in the slurp area with the Russians, right? They had so much problems getting out of that rotation, making their way towards center. You saw in the wedge between Weeping Woods and Slurp Factory being a hotbed for so much action here as Mr. Savage is making his rotation to the Dinky Ditch, and this is where Anas is. So Anas is already left. So Savage, knowing that, is going to be able to vulture and maybe find anything that he could find. Maybe the scraps could maybe lead him to a great run here today.
I was going to just top off on Metal right there. The deal in a fight with Clement. That's a very hard shot to hit too. He actually gets it down while reloading and editing at the same time. 1-4 kind of separating them, and yeah, I would expect Clement to actually go down. Is that a boat firing missiles? It is, and it ruins Clement's chances.
Has here. Irazumi, who's also landing. Hey man, I remember that his troubles, and I just got received word there in the last match, Mr. Savage. So we'll now keep an eye on that going forward. Noah Riley here, who's been very active here in Believer Beach, and that is what he's known for. This is his strat. That is his Storm Surge strategy. And Blueback picks up Andalix there in the feed. So another big name going down early. I think this is what's going to happen all day. You know, big names are going to go down early, but this is the ride of solos. All you need is 2.5 matches here. So even though the fans of Savage, the fans of Benji are worried about their favorite players, don't worry, they still have time to work with.
Bat Sniper coming in for the play-ins as well, seeing if he can fully just milk out that earned spot here today. One of 10 players who are rolling in. About to run into Tayson here at a checkpoint, but he's not looking for his license registration. He's looking for pain. So Bat Sniper's like, all right, I'll go off-road for it instead. Stop now. That vehicle is completely out of service. Bat Sniper was not expecting to run out of free rotation this quickly. He's basically stranded on the side of the road, and there is no pickup truck that's coming to save him now, Sancho. He has to run on his feet. He's actually getting his car stolen. Vidil, you cheeky man. He just ends up getting a little bit of ground with that one. He's like, okay, that's free, I guess. Now, Bat Sniper, he's stranded.
This is what I mean when it comes down to the competitive play of Fortnite, especially in solos. We've all been there. It doesn't matter if you played in pubs or Team Rumble, where someone all of a sudden, you shoot at them and they respond and they beam you twice. That's what happened to Tayson. He thought he had some nice shots, and Bat Sniper, in the quick turn, was able to get some big 40-plus tags here. And now we're going to go to another big name in the region, Hen. Hen, I thought would definitely be someone who could be aggressive here, who have the chance to win it all. So far, no points, but I just know, you know, he's usually landed at Misty Meadows. We've seen this man win at NA East Solo Cash Cup, right? This is someone that thrives in solos, and if you look at his average placements in the FNCS solos and Solo Invitational, it's superbly like top 10 material here. So far, Hen is one of those names as well that I'm expecting to do, but it all depends on if he could just get away from Jules. Jules has been that person that even he kind of slowed down Andalix during the FNCS trio, so that's not an easy name to take out as well.
Well, absolutely. We'll see Vortex as well moving through the center of the map, where the game ended last time, actually. So we're going straight towards the south. You guys know what that means, a potential for mountains, a potential for valleys and rivers where things really get interesting, and literally your position sometimes does not matter. Bounce backs happen left and right here and there. What I'm liking and seeing, though, is a change of pace for a lot of people inside EU, especially when the zone goes towards the south. Everyone's more spread out. People are moving slightly early. You saw Bat Sniper with the vehicle. Janice making sure that, you know, he's chilling as well. And very good on rotation alongside Vidil. Even here towards the south side, Hen, he has the zone, but he's not actually staying static the entire time. He's moving around, covering ground, and owning a lot of space. Jules also right beside him on a higher point. Everyone's being as dynamic as possible. They're not trying to stay still, because everyone that did last game, I mean, they got instant 200 quick taken out of the competition. You have to stay aware, active, and alive if you want to make it past zone to zone.
Players that may not making it to zone is Amplify. Amplify going down, was picking up a couple eliminations in the previous match. And you're right, Shayo. As soon as you see a south zone, everyone just starts to move. The bullets start flying. People just, you've seen the vehicle rotations. They understand how treacherous those mountain zones can be. You've seen Safik here with the hot fish. We saw Bino in the previous round use that hot fish. We've been seeing it lately, especially in the FNCS trios. We saw Kirachi be able to utilize that hot fish just to take the high ground. But as a solo, holding onto the high ground is very difficult.
Very, very difficult. The high ground will come in just a sec. This rotation right now, it looks like such a short distance. If you're watching at home, you're probably asking, why don't you just run the whole way? This is why. You know when you run on sand, that's basically what this is. That small distance actually ends up being so far because of the pressure everyone has left and right. Waves taking a few shots on the Safik. You don't want to use your shields immediately. You don't want to do crazy things and run out through all your utility before the end game starts. This small distance doubles or even triples in size because of the pressure, and everyone's going to have a hard time moving through.
And now you're seeing Noah Riley's rotation. His plan always visits the aftermath, maybe just looking to see anyone else that's in shambles. We did see Bellix there rotating through. That's coming all the way from Reaper House. So far, has been surviving the early game. Everyone thought that, you know, the players and Bellix coming in from the All-Star play-in would be able to be just easy eliminations, but so far they're proving that their solo prowess is there. As we've seen, Vortex now has his eyes on Asterios. So Asterios, you better watch out. Indred and Thomas HD sharing neighborship. We have a deal down in the Gas and Grub, down below in that gas station. And this is where it matters here. Everyone's trying to get those valuable Storm Surge tags, trying to get those positions here. Shizo and Thomas HD tied for the most elims in game 1. And we all know there is a bonus factor with the most eliminations in the solos finals match. So $1,000 and $1,020 will be given out to the most elims here. So we'll keep an eye on that going forward.
I'm liking this change up in pressure for solos, though. Usually by this game, we see some people going a little bit stir crazy. That 90 out of 100 on the top left turns into 80, turns into 70 sometimes by the second or third game. But everyone here is really trying to stay in, Sancho. Right now, that first place prize, $150,000 for EU in first place before. I believe it was like 300K. That was split 3 ways, though. This is the biggest personal prize available right now. And there's only been 1 game so far, so everyone definitely still has a chance to get towards top 10 inside that leaderboard. This is the biggest competition we have this year for Fortnite. And everyone is trying their best, all 100 players, at getting that spot, that prize. Kaiser against Mr. J. He's going to be taking a lot of damage here inside Lazy Lake. Complete activity, though, all around. This is about physical education. And Mr. J, he's making the move to disengage. You got his shots down. He has that surge damage. Look over to that right side, and now actually causing a bit of chaos behind him. He leaves a car crash back there and says, I didn't do nothing, and moves straight through.
Mr. J with that third place finish and with about 4 elims. So a great start to his day here as Kaiser now has the remnants of that car crash dealing with it here. Voltia with armed with just so little, one above Shayo, and now he has the pressure coming in the front side. He's gonna have to hold on here, gotta dip into those hard matches just to show Kaiser there that he's gonna be willing to be a little bit more stubborn. Now he's 3 below, 5 below, so dangerous.
Mr. J basically brake checked 3 players on a highway, and now these guys, their gearbox, it's absolutely ruined. Kaiser going for a desperate fight, overexposing himself as well. I'm surprised this man didn't get sniped. He drops down. Oh my God, okay. Big panic here inside box to box. Both players on 25 HP. Metal all around them, though, so pickaxing these walls over time, it'll get more difficult. They'll be so strengthened. Kaiser will take that chance, though, with that added padding and pick that med kit up. Now the zone comes in, though, and all these guys are in trouble.
You're watching a lot of the bottom of the board here. All these players have 1 point here, and they're trying to get a little bit more here. Kaiser and Voltia with 1 point is basically sitting all 65 placing down almost, it feels like here. And oh my goodness, what'd you see, Shayo?
I saw that launch pad just get shot every time Voltex. He had a good spot right there, too, to hunt down Kaiser. Each time he was about to get out, it's like he has a bungee cord attached to this position. He could not move. These players making his rotation as hard as possible. They know Kaiser's here, too.
Oh, you needed that.
Oh, no. He needed that so bad.
Needed that so badly to open up the path here for this rotation, and it's going to give away position, but he's able just to sneak on through to this catacomb that's happened. But now, with that Storm thing coming in, it was just a matter of time before Joe closed that out. Now Flois is down below, sending up beams to the top here, looking to find that a perfect third-party opportunity. You got Panics here, Elo Kraz in this congested rotation. As you're seeing the rest of the lobby now looking in to see if they could take away any valuable 2 Elim points right now. And Joe's going to have plenty of meds to kind of get back up to full strength. But my concern here is just going to be the other people that's sitting next door to him.
Yeah, he was kind of gifted by Kaiser there, the Surge, but that gift came in the shape of a double-edged sword. Basically, did so much damage to him. He survives with like just 1 HP kind of, and just rides out all his utilities gone. Meanwhile, as these guys are struggling to get morsels of damage and Elims, Fast Roki is really picking up the pace on the other side of the map. 2 Elims right there. If we get those watched back as well, that'd be crazy. Casyptos, Hadi, and Anas, they'll move out in very, very separate lanes. These guys aren't even on the same pathway right now, the way they're moving into the zone. Hadi actually staying back a little bit, and Flick actually takes to the skies.
Taken to the skies, but an update for y'all. Shizo, the Game 1 winner, is out, and the current leader gone. So that is what's happening right now. The people are now waking up. You're seeing the skill kind of show. And Seahorse takes out Mr. Savage.
Wow. Stompy taking out Kiriachi and then turning around and taking down Hen inside the feed as well. Milo didn't make it past the zone. Hen actually just, I guess, clapping down Stompy. What I'm thinking about right there, it has to be that these guys were all in zone somewhere fighting it out, and that zone eventually claims everyone if you don't actually work with time. We went from 90 players just moments ago down to 68 after that rotation and surge. These guys were truly put through this huge filter and did not sift out.
I can't even believe, like, look at the kind of loadout that Flick is working with here. Just down to 38 bullets, 8 shells in the shotgun here. You know he's going to be looking for a refresher. You know he's going to try to get the zone and catch somebody. He's going to need a body right now because this is not going to last for in-game. There it is. He caught somebody. He got him.
Ask and you shall receive, Sancho. Thank you for blessing Flick. That might have been the freest Elim I've ever seen, in the most random in my entire life, but okay, whatever, man. Going down to Anas, unfortunate. Flecking from the backside as well. He'll try to find his way through, but Anas has a huge stop sign all the way on the front side of this zone. See Flecken actually moving to the right. Very good adjustment there, but might get lobby focus in just a sec. Good 4x4 or 2x2 box there to make sure he has a lot of room to move, and now Anas has to be quiet, but man, Flick, that's just tragic.
Yeah, at the same time at the hands of your old teammate, right? From the trios days. Oh, come on, man. Why do you have to take me out? And Nas and Queasy are tied for the most total solo final VRs with 2 apiece. So now we're going to see if Nas can add to that stat as he's moving on through. You see Noah Riley, I believe, still in the feed, still cooking, still working. Indretta still alive. Hi, Chris. Thomas HT and Indretta, who've known to cross a lot of paths in their FNCS days, considering that they almost come from the same side of the map. Dirty Docs going against Steamy Stacks here. And Jetta armed with the Chug Cannon. Feeling good. I would feel good right now. I got a Chug Cannon. I got a launch pad. I got mats for days. And I like what this new kind of technique, this meta is, of people building out of woods early on their rotations or protection. I know this is not an in-game yet, but looking forward, you're expecting a lot of our players go through StarTarps with wood builds. And O'Reilly has to be careful. It's Peach from the play-in, sending in beams on your backside.
It seems like all these newer contenders just rolling around in the weirdest spots, finding crazy angles on top players. Maybe that's why they're getting tripped up. And Dreda, though, definitely a player to keep your eye on. Peach, bye-bye. What was that? Was that a shotgun or a sniper? I don't know. It hit as hard as either from max or close range. I guess he's gone, and now Heighten is open to whoever. Okay.
Okay. Mr. J, the third place player going down in the feed, so first and third are gone. Fast Roki, I believe, he's gone as well. So our top 3 is gone. That's how quick it can happen, folks. Now, fan favorites, Benji Fishy rocking the Lachlan outfit here, looking really good. Went down super early in match 1.
Sancho, I'm running out of pages on the script here, right? Like, I got the fill in the blank. I'm like, let me write SETI up. Like, I got some 6 stories for Fast Roki. Okay, he's gone. Noah Riley, still alive. Deal.
And gone.
Oh, actually takes him out. No way! Seti's here though, and Dreda actually picking apart Desyptos, so lots of things happening on the edge side, somewhere towards the middle of zone. We saw Andretta with that quick, fast first rotation. And Osto, you're talking about VR, Sancho. He has another max zone to conquer, has to use at least one of these launch pads here, but this man cannot catch a break.
This is where you see the real test of skill when it comes to rotation as a solo. Yes, you could use a launch pad, but you could use a community pad, is what the people in the Fortnite world like to call it. You could recycle a pad. iDrop picks an elimination here, but you have to be careful here because some people like to bait a community pad and wait and just pop out of a cone and eliminate you while you're invulnerable in a glider state here. And as well, gliding through the air, and it's not as free anymore. A lot of our Fortnite pros have the beams to send you out of the competition, and Shaco's takes out the deal in match 2. So yeah, man, you know, when they came to us and like, hey, Shai, you got any predictions? And we're like, yeah, we got predictions, but I mean, come on, it's solos, it's chaotic, it's madness.
No one can predict this. A majority of the lobby has to move through. You can see the speed of the arrows on the map. You can actually see it from this perspective. Everyone's found launch pads to come through. Everyone had a good position now. You're looking at Benji, Snap, Slender. Look at people landing on top of them, actually extending high all the bases that they have so far. These one-by-one condominiums, the bungalows turn into high-rise apartments fast. Thomas HD finds a spot above 2 other people and becomes the landlord here. 155 metal, though. I mean, he has struggled to get to this spot. He's used everything now, and he's gonna have to force himself into a box once again, risk his life to see this end game.
Vino picks up Chapix in the feed, and we've seen Thomas AD be in this position before where he just clutches, and now he's going to be out for the hunt to find someone going his way. If it is an edit down below or a cone, that is what's going to take for him to survive. And Dreda has used the bush strat. He's chilling in a bush, vibing out. And Don, Reese's favorite right now, looking solid with the chug cannon and the peppers and some launch pads. I'm just concerned for the Grape tack. It's just not going to be enough in those 50-50s.
I'm seeing Benji Fishy inside an end game though, and I'm seeing a few mountains on the left and right. Some woods as well coming up soon. This is where this man ends up popping off so hard. So we'll see exactly how he can roll in. One of the best loadouts we're looking at as well. He's got the launches, and he's ready to go.
Benji coming into this match, 94th place with 0 points. So you're seeing that he was able to get his first points of the tournament here with 5.
Finds a community pad. This is huge for him to use. And wow, everyone takes to the sky. Ardent, Janice, Irazumi, Benji up top, Floki and Wakey actually touch down first. He's going to be right above them as he starts his game. This landing has to be perfect, and he finds his box. Good for him so far. But he's turning on the gas, going in for the big shot on the right side. On the top right of your screen, you can see Benji's POV as how he moves. Thomas HD is desperate, though, and finds another Elim right below him. That's huge. Doesn't get the match, though. He has 2 left, and he's facing a ton of bullets. Gets focused out on the front side, though. Teak, Benji, lots of people looking for position and just waiting to take control of this game.
The Frenchman Nate takes out Thomas HD. Now we're on to the English Lord here of Benji with 1 elimination here and 7 points. He has height, yes, and he has peppers here. He's going to have to get a refresh here because he's not going to be able to hold height for so long. And a Nos is right underneath, and this is where it's going to get dangerous for Benji. And here it is, all eyes on Benji, and a power position to close out. Floki down below, looking with the green tack, hunting for an elimination with no build, Shio. This is where it gets treacherous. This is where you need to be able to clutch. Hits the short pad for a moment.
And right now, Floki, he's homeless and hungry. No mats right now, but he's still trying to eat. Boom, boom, 3's not going to be there. Bubak takes them out. Benji, though, he has every single angle possible right now from top down. Then at least 100,000 damage from up here, but no, he gets taken out. He was shot on the Bubak, though, to keep it all the way in. Gets a few mats to stay alive and stay in. It's Tayson who steals this position.
If anyone could clutch from this position, it is Benji Fishy. We've seen it in many times in different stages, but never have we seen it in a set lobby in the finals. And he's going for another one. Can Benji on the bottom right of your screen get this elimination? He's chasing. He takes up all damage. That's how much he wants it. Tayson picks up Miro in the feed. Stormy takes up Slender. Vino picks up another elimination. What a big game for Vino. And Knifer takes out Benji.
We run into a river, but this is no picnic. Stormy right, all the way down below is about to get shot out. Tayson is looking at such a strong position. Teak lost in the storm. AR beams from above. This rain hurts hard, and there's no umbrella to save you now, my friend. You're running out of materials. You're going to be on your walls and your floors, editing it out towards the storm. Chug Cannon, the advantage is even, and now Tayson from the top side. He's looking for the final shot. A tree in the way, but there's going to be no growth for Teak here. Low on HP, low on shields. Tayson Tayson's here to wrap it out. Going back in the storm, it's a desperate solution. Tayson fails the block, but lands the shot. That's what I'm talking about for game 2. High-profile players, big stakes, huge action.
And now we're seeing how Teak got to that second place finish. It is Tayson, the FNCS solo champion, getting Game 2's victory royale with ease. But wow, this is what Tayson needed, considering he didn't have a great Game 1. But this is what could happen in a solo event. All it takes is a couple of pop-ups, and you better vault your way up the board. Some great work from the former champion.
And that's what I was looking for in terms of a high-tier seesaw, right, Sancho? We're looking for big names for those crazy box fights. Thomas HB desperate here and there. Flick too, I mean, this man somehow survived longer than he needed to. Got that free elim. I mean, you gifted it to him, right? And then after that, you know, got instantly taken out. That was also one of those games, right, where we saw brothers take out brothers. Fleck and Diablo in the beginning. Stambi Kuriachi also taking shots at each other. It feels like, Sancho, if you blinked, if you left one side of your box unattained to, you got shot for like 100 damage.
Yeah, someone is going to get you there, but we definitely have to take it to the analyst desk of Zeke, Reese, and Levin to break down match 2.
Tayson, Levin, Tayson, baby. You know, you can never count this man out. He's always lurking in the shadows, okay? He's always there.
Look, you know, I have my script for how today is going to play out. So after game 1, I was sort of looking at my script thinking, hold on a minute, what's going on here? Like, you know, things are going off the rails a bit. But now we're back on script. We have Tayson winning the game, and plenty to say about Tayson. Props to Teak. Look, Teak is a phenomenal solo player. Teak has dominated solo competitions in the past. You know, I renamed DreamHack to Teak-Hack because of how dominant he is in those competitions. So we know what Teak can do. I think the big thing is, can he now move this, you know, continue this form forward? But Tayson, picking up a game. Look, I said he'd be able to do this. He's going to get you a game or two here and there. But even with that, still not at the top of the standings. Shizo being moved down from first place, being overtaken by Vino. Props to Vino. Vino in first place. Look, Vino's somebody who a lot of you OG people might not be familiar with, or a lot of you newer people, I should say, aren't familiar with. But Vino is a phenomenal talent. One of the most talented players. He just needs the respect, and I think he's finally starting to get it, Reese.
Yeah, I think anyone who up frequently in the leaderboards, and I'm not surprised to see him first kind of after those 2 games at all, to be honest with you, because he was one of the players that I'm thinking top 10, top 5, but to see him first already after 2 matches, he could be taken away with it.
Yeah, this is really Vino's time to shine, really. Obviously, he wasn't able to play in the FNCS finals, missed out there, but now getting a chance to maybe, you know, make up for some of the earnings he missed. Once again, you can see Thomas doing what Thomas does best, picking up some fancy highlights. I think, you know, he did get himself into a bit of trouble there with Mats, and that does often happen, right? You do see a lot of these players who maybe don't have, you know, the best rotation or the best loot paths and material paths available to them, mats, and it's all over. You can see Benji there in a similar position, even after his pop-off, right? Still running low on mats and then eventually being taken out. You know, these are the things that players are going to be thinking about, right? Tayson, somebody who talked about, you know, having much more resources available to him than many other players, and that seemed to have helped out today in this specific game. How does that move forward in the next sort of game? This is the big thing.
I mean, I think for Tayson in that particular situation, it's like you get that end game refresh where you need it. You've managed to get yourself tons of materials. Benji at that moment was running low, so he dropped down, and that was a perfect moment for Tayson just to take height. And with those extra materials, you know, you saw Teak scrambling for it on the low ground, right? He was looking for it. He was trying to do whatever he could on the low ground, but Tayson was chilling out. He was relaxed. He had the mats. He knew he had the HP advantage too with the chug cannon, so he played it slow, cool, calm, and collected. And I went back earlier today and watched his 12 elimination victory royale from the solo FNCS, the big game that kind of pushed him to be first and to win that. And his reaction, you know what it was? Nothing. Didn't even say a word. You could hear his keys typing away. You could just hear him not even an excitement on one of the most incredible games I've seen in FNCS history, to be honest with you. Nothing. So I'm trying to wonder, after that victory royale, what was his reaction?
Well, look, the big thing for me, right, in sort of the final moments of that game is just going to be sort of looking at, you know, height, right? He obviously wins that game from above, and just before that, we saw Benji actually take height for a moment. You know, these final stages, who's the last person to take height? First move, if you take it, pretty useless at that stage, right? You want to try to take it as late as possible. And some of these tactics aren't even that complicated. Like when Benji took it, he just looked up, realized, no one's above me, let me just have it, right? And similar thing with Tayson. So how does that sort of play out? We'll see. Still a couple games left.
Bro, and I don't know how it's happening, but Janus is always in that high ground position right there toward the end, and then he just drops it. So, and again, this is just the first 2 games. You know, anything can still happen. But with all that being said, we're going back into the action. Shy Wager, Sancho S, back over you, boys.
Action's too hot. There's just too much action right now, and it's all with these players who are the rising up and comers, those legends, the veterans. They're having trouble right now in the first 2 games, Sancho.
It's just showing you the talent of all of the players in the EU region. It keeps getting deeper and deeper with every passing FNCS season. And stars that are really great. We're seeing the flashes of brilliance, just like with Benji able just to have a pop-off. We're seeing, you know, Thomas HD having those flashes of brilliance. But it's the new stars that are shining a little bit brighter here today. Stars like Vino, which is, like I mentioned during match 1, a dark horse who has the ability to rack up elims. And you're looking at it, a 5th and 4th place in this 1st and 2nd match. I'm expecting some big things from Vino going forward.
Yeah, Vino and Shizo are just kind of head-to-head right now. Shizo also going down a little bit earlier in that last game, so hopefully looking for that consistency at the top of the board, Sancho. It's not only about getting that 1 game pop-off, but then playing well for the rest of the tournament.
If you're looking at all the past match histories of the solos of people winning, you see a lot of just like low, like early eliminations, getting out early, but then you see those pop-off games, and that is what we're looking for. Who's going to have the next pop-off game? Who is going to be able to shine bright on the biggest stage here on Fortnite in the main channel everywhere? Thank you so much for joining us, and yo, Party Royale. Throw a tomato at you know, at Shy's face next time.
Yeah, my face is very tomatoable, but what's not a joke right now is the off-spawn fights we're watching in these games. Game number 3, the best one to watch for you and me, except for that final one that comes in on the day. This is where we see most of the changes. This is where we see desperate people actually making their move, their chance. Snazy all the way in caddy corner. He's already starting off with a fight. Actually, the first shot that's been ringed through the entire Fortnite Battle Royale island. Looks like Zyku has a few shields to pop. He's gonna break that floor. No match for him to hold. Genius here from Snazy. He's almost out of ammunition though. He has to make sure these final shots, they hit their target.
He has to close this out quickly because who knows what Zako has in his inventory. He's going to go all in. Ooh, that's not a sound you want to hear if you're Snazy. That is the sound of an SMG, and that's going to send him packing and out of this engagement here. But match 3, it's about the halfway point. You're right, Shayo. People make those changes. You see Vino picking up Asterios quickly in the feed. So Vino not changing the formula, sticking to it, and actually he's adding a little bit more gas to it.
Yeah, Vino currently our leader right now in the All-Star Solos. 53 points in total after that elimination. Snazy could have a chance to clap back right there, but unfortunately is not able to finish out that Elim and get Caddy for free. That'll affect his loot heavily. Benji, meanwhile, headed forward near the dish. He's looking to see exactly what he can take out over here. You can see the leaderboard on the left side. It's still a very, very close game. A few eliminations, a difference in placement. Everyone's really neck and neck on show. This next game, we could have completely different names on the top of the board.
Absolutely, and as you've seen, the leaderboard will get shaken up as Safik takes up Reason out in the feed down at the aftermath here. But this is the battle that a lot of people on social media had their eyes on. Benji versus Pink. Can Benji Fishy able to take out Pink, and Pink using the fish sticks? A little bit of mind games that's happening between the two. So far, Benji, if Benji could survive in the end game, he has the potential to take it all.
Endurance is one of the biggest things inside this competition as well. You're absolutely right. It's not only surviving end games, but multiple. A lot of these youngins, they come in and they win the first few games. They kind of teeter off because that pressure, the sweat, it builds up over and over. Benji, he's used to the long form games. He's used to these drawn out 12-game tournaments, but this is just a 6er for now. Just 6 matches we're watching on the day.
Oh my goodness, Pink coming in. The shot just missed for Benji. But I've been in these kind of fights here down at the Defiant Dish, and it could take a long time. But it looks like Pink is about to end that quickly here, and now he has Benji's on the ropes with a big tag, with that green tack here. And now Benji's trying to find humility. There's just so many ways you could kind of crouch and walk away, and the fight gets drawn out. Rick Sanchez enjoying the engagement here, helping out Pink. We got an action. It's Rick Sanchez there. We're helping him out, dropping those bandies right there as Mappy picks up Janus. Wow, Mappy has had 2 games where he's taken out big names in this All-Star Showdown solo.
I don't know what Mappy's doing, but we gotta watch some perspective of that as to how that fight's breaking down. It might be because he has insane difference in the weapons he has in his inventory, because right now you can see it with Pink versus Benji. This tack, when you have it early, you can commit to fights with just 1 item completely and look so good. For Benji, this great pump, he's gonna have to hit an even more than perfect shot, and it's still not gonna do a lot of damage. And then follow up with an AR, I mean, that is not the ideal situation. If you're Pink in the situation, all you have to do is just roll in, shoot shots, and commit over and over. Just keep pressing left click. Benji has to be pixel perfect with his accuracy.
This is a battle between 75th place and 19th place. Benji left Pink in the dust on the leaderboard with that 1 pop-off game. It's a mini pop-off for Benji, let's be real. It's a little mini pop-off. We're used to seeing him pump everybody. But now he's there, 19th place. So this is how dangerous it is for a Benji here. Cannot afford to go down because that movement up the board could happen just as way the opposite side of things. But now Pink out of builds, but it still has a lot of environment to kind of pick on. And Benji now, and that's Chapix out of nowhere. Where did Chapix come from? I didn't even see him. Chapix now is going to be the new competitor that Benji has to face, and now Benji knows who's in front of him.
Phone a friend option on a very hard question for Benji to solve, but at the same time, this is not a friend. This is another enemy. He not only saw that, you know, this fight was kind of drawing out so long, but there was so many mats used, people farming over and over again. He's looking to hunt down both these players.
Benji coming from that bridge south of Boney Burbs, a little bit near the aftermath, understanding that that's part of his rotational plan to get the third party in, and he picks it perfectly as Siberia Jake goes from the chop, and Peach just hits that launch pad to get away, but he may fall into the embrace of Kenzel, which this is Kenzel's backyard in Coral Castle.
Saw how lethal Peach is though, right, Sancho? Last game, if you give this guy just a window of opportunity, an inch to operate with an AR, he ends up doing 120 damage in like a matter of 2 seconds. This guy's aim is just immaculate. Knifer though, going down, one of the last survivors from game number 2. I think he became and was close to the top 5. Once again, we get hard stuck on 90 players alive. It's gonna be a very tricky zone to navigate, no matter if you're the king of Coral, no matter if you're the biggest believer on the beach. You're gonna have to overcome obstacles, go for those early fights, and just operate with like 9 different people around you, waiting for you to make a mistake or leave an opening in your box.
Peach was coming from the All-Star Showdown play-in, coming in 6th place. Last time I made a has hit this big stop sign. You know what that stop sign is called? It's Noah Riley, all right? He's been hitting this stop sign constantly. And someone that who had the momentum, and I thought this was someone who you have to keep an eye out for. Very elite player from the French country. And it's just, this is what happens, man. Sometimes there's always one player out of the 4 that are dropping here who's going to be like, yeah, it just wasn't your day today.
I mean, these guys are essentially, you know, it's 4 people trying to share a 1-bed hotel room. It just doesn't work. Someone's gonna end up on the couch or on the floor. It's never Noah Riley, though, for some reason. This man is just clapping over and over again. This time it's Nate that goes down.
Man, I'm always a guy on that floor, man. I'm like, all right, man, I'll take it. I'll take the floor, man. I'll take the floor. Noah Riley right now chilling in that king-size bed. He got it all right now. He's sitting comfy, but it's not the question of Noah Riley's a fighter. It's about what is the cost of this engagements here, his rotations. Let's take a look at the replay there as he's catching Nate on the disengagement.
Oh my God.
CR and
Dude, I thought Harpoons revolted right there. This guy insta-fished the flopper. Like, that was insane. Boxed him up, made him look like he's never touched a keyboard before. I mean, Noah Riley's fast.
Boxed it and shipped it for 2 elim points. What a cash in right there as we're seeing Tayson, our game 2 winner with 38 points. And that's going to be enough to going into this match, put him into 3rd place. Another one of those big names that went down early here. Now Trulix and Stompy here in an engagement, box to box, 1 grid separating them. Stompy using the power of his pickaxe to hack his way through. Trulix, the defending FNCS Trio champion, responds. Stompy going to go for a layer switch to get up a little bit higher here. No other eyes in this engagement here, and Trulix is still being a little bit of a nuisance. Brings him down a couple layers back to his layer. And this is what this is the kind of thing that you gotta be careful here. You kind of let it draw out too much.
Now this is silly. Look at the zone. What a man's doing.
I know, you gotta go.
Rotate up.
It's time to go. It's time to
Take
go.
shots at each other as you guys are moving towards that safe zone right now. This fight, I mean, I guess
They
Trulix
don't
might have a
trust
few
each other.
med kits
They
here
don't
or there.
trust each other.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's
That's true.
Hey, man, a gentleman's agreement. I'm going to disengage. We can keep shooting each other, but we all know
Guys,
one
it's
tag in
not
the
even
bag.
that. It's that you
It all
can still
takes.
get aggressive and then not grief your entire game, though, right? Like right now, it's going to be very tricky for Stompy. Maybe Trulix actually has those white heels and he's feeling confident. It's not even about the disengagement entirely. It's about choosing where you want to have your fights.
The good grief vibes for Vorciar continue as he gets taken out by Red Rush, still with 0 points in this competition.
Oh no, now Stompy. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Jules is gone. He's like, yeah, I was watching, I was waiting. I guess you guys are going to do some weird stuff here in the zone. Y'all can do what you want. And now Trulix and Stompy, they're just calling it a complete impasse. I mean, Stompy has so many mats too. I'm not sure why he is allowing this. He can easily disengage and keep making boxes, base up, and then shoot. He can do exactly what he's doing now and not take zone damage, but it's personal, it looks like, for these guys.
Yes.
Stompy on a timer, on a clock. He's going to have to go straight over to Trulix. Trulix kind of baiting him. He might be the one to actually force this fight, move to zone early, maybe take that car at the bottom, and trick Stompy into the storm. I'm sure that's trying to think about what the entire plan is here.
There
Maybe
you
force
go.
out a launch pad. That could be it. Stompy, though, no white heel, Sancho. He's not to find a campfire maybe in Weeping. There's a lot to use, but he's going straight to Jules.
Now Stompy is on the disengage. Trulix, seeing the pad being used, decides to chase after here. Jules may have a free elim if he wants it. He understands that there's definitely 2 people behind him. Didn't see anyone in the elim feed. And like I mentioned, Jewel is a rising star in the EU region, taking on some of the titans of the EU, like Andalex. Took out a couple of names here today. Vidil, 12 points. It's one of those things that, you know, Noah Riley, Vidil, and Reason are having those kind of days where they're popping off. This is 41st place right now coming into this game. They're having those, you know, they're getting those fights, they're getting those early engagements, but right now, what I want to see is I want to see the Vidil, Reason, Noah Riley that, you know, slowed down in day 2 of the FNCS, where they played for placement, where they got in those positions early. But maybe as a solo, you don't have that, you know, the communication between the 3 to keep you level, to keep you easy.
No, definitely. And even for Benji, when it comes to comms, when it just comes to playing his game right now, yeah, maybe got a freebie off spawn and got to survive over at the dish, but he's been here for a while now, Sancho. Now he has to move out, but once again, he almost got so low from I don't even know what happened all the way at the back there. He's finally leaving, and he's kind of looking in shambles overall for loadout.
Yeah, just above Storm Surge. And I gotta say, these new vehicles right here are by far my favorite, so they're gonna give him, he's still gonna be able to move really fast over the grass here. He doesn't have to rely on the roads to take him into safety, but so far, that his entire ride, the rest of today's match is gonna be really rough, but if he could find that refresher that we know that he can do, he's gonna look solid here. Thomas HD was able to get some nice refreshers while we were watching his POV, armed with a sniper. I mean, this man was carrying a gold legendary sniper in-game, so it's just showing you how confident he is with it. One of the best snipers in the world. Let's see if he's able to give us one. That's all we want today. You know, just give us one. Just one nice sniper, man.
Just one.
Just one.
60 below for Voltix. I mean, he's going to be the one to cause chaos around. It might be Kaiser who's the target of that energy. Lots of people around, though, for options. Everyone's kind of stuck on the south side of this bridge. Moving across it takes so much utility. It takes so much time. You won't be able to afford that, really, when, you know, you have a choice, yes or no. Now, if the zone moves past that bridge, everyone will be forced to. They'll have to expend. But for now, lots of bases here and not many right above it.
Vino, our leader right now on the board here, Savage picks up DKS. Vino came in 5th in 4th place. 6 elims total respectively. Now has another possible victim in his way here. This is gonna, actually this is Shadow and Red Rush. Mappy takes out Seahorse. Shadow here, this must be an engagement as we're going along because Shadow actually popped a mini here. It's a 200 HP versus 150. This is still an action hit happening in Believer Beach. This is Storm Surge affecting this fight here.
It's going to be active here in just a moment. Shadow, 5 below, really needs to land a shot. He's already missed the first Teak going down. Queasy eliminated. Mr. J The traffic jam. Causier's gone too. 149 damage. Oh my goodness, and that's way more than enough to shoot Shadow all the way up the rankings for Surge. Did it cost him too much? I don't see a fishing rod, so can't even get any fish outside Believer Beach right now to kind of level up that white HP. He'll pop the hot flopper to make sure he has a little bit of HP to move and some speed. Has to find some medkit advantages somewhere. They're always left around, not the priority target for people to pick up off of spawn. Meanwhile, other side, Shizo, game 1 winner, 45 points, second place right now, Sancho. He's also just moving for free, it looks like.
Yeah, he's moving for free now, but in the previous match, he got taken down around this time. As we saw in the feed, Hen and Anas going down, the Guild Boys going down early in this game. Shizo, I think he's just trying to cause a big explosion, and happily he could catch Raxo here. There he is. He goes for the flank around. I love the creativity here in this engagement for Shizo. And yes, gets a tag right there. Shizo is going to have an opportunity to get some eliminations here, but the fire is so strong. You got to be careful. Those are being nasty. 15 HP. It's going to have to cool down with the Chug Cannon, and Raxo gets taken out, but I'm not quite sure Shizo is credited that elimination, as here comes Tayson, the Game 2 winner and the solo former champion, gonna look for scraps here and maybe pick up a third-party elimination.
I think the goal here for Shizo was to look for some type of pressure to get Raxo all the way off of his big tower, because a lot of those guys sometimes might be down on Surge. He did get credited for the elim. Unfortunately, wasted a mini as well, because the Siphon cave in, put him above 150 HP, and he popped one, and he was trying to right before. Tayson, though, has 12 in total as he moves through. Lots of launch pads, gets a lot off of Raxo's body. He was just right there. Looks like he finds all the goodies from that elim. Vortex, though, going down to Refsguard right now, and this man might have the most eliminations, right, of all time in terms of solo finals. This is a very different finals, though, right? There was no open, big, qualifying, overtime system rolling in. This is FNCS All-Stars, the best of the best from trios coming through. It's very different vibes. Some of these guys might not even be the best solo players, right? So they attack the game in a very different way. It switches up the way that Tayson has to basically go for every single situation.
Kaiser picking up Benji Fishing Feed. At the same time, there is no mythical Shockwave grenade launcher as well. That's the season that he was able to find success as a champion. So that is what we're all deal with. And at the same time, there's so much pressure on Tayson to be like a 3-time champion as well. I remember everyone was like, can he go back-to-back and all this kind of crazy stuff. So all that is off the board. So that's what's so exciting here. Last time Tayson was a champion was in Season 4 alongside with Mongra and Mitro. Deceptos there coming from the Flopper Island. So far, this is one of those players that does well in solos, and it just hasn't happened here today from him. I thought this guy coming all the way from the north side with all those fishing spots available to him would have some